Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for June 22nd, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. We will have a time for change call tomorrow night at 9 p.m. We're going to discuss a lot of interesting information there. Within our bodies, we have the original quality still alive, vibrating. And that original quality that was there before heaven and earth were made, it is known as the original face. When nothing was born, not even earth, not even heaven, all was unmanifest. And when all was silence, no sound was born. And when there was no form, and all was formless, all was in seed. We have that original silence in us. Some people, the Hindus call it anahat, nad. The Buddhists have a special expression for it, the sound of one hand clapping. It is within each of us. It is our true reality. To taste it is to become immortal. To taste it is to be golden. Then dust is transformed into the divine. As in alchemy, is to transform the lower metal into gold. If today people sit and meditate only 1 or 2 hours, looking only at their egos, and call this reflection, how can anything come of it? One should look for the tip of one's nose. One should look at the tip of one's nose. It brings us in line with the third eye. And when both our eyes are fixed on the tip of the nose, it does many things. The basic is that our third eye is exactly in line with the tip of the nose. Just a few inches above, but in the same line. And once we are in the line of the third eye, the attraction of the third eye, the pull, the magnetism of the third eye is so great that if you have fallen in line with it, you will be pulled even against yourself. You just have to be exactly in line with it so that the attraction, the gravitation of the third eye starts functioning. Once you are exactly in line with it, there will be no need to take any effort. Suddenly, you will find the gestalt has changed because the two eyes create the duality of the world and thought. And the single eye between the two eyes creates the gaps. This is a simple method of changing the gestalt. One should look at the tip of one's nose. But this does not mean that one should fasten one's thought to the tip of the nose. That's how the mind can distort it. And then the mind can say, okay, now look at the tip of the nose. Think of the tip of the nose, concentrate on it. If you concentrate too much on the tip of the nose, you will miss the point because you have to be there at the tip of the nose, but very relaxed so that the third eye can pull you. if you are too concentrated on the tip of the nose, rooted, focused, and fixed there, your third eye will not be able to pull you in because your third eye has never functioned before. Its pull cannot be very great in the beginning. Slowly, it grows more and more. Once it starts functioning and the dust that has gathered around it disappears with use and the mechanism is humming well, then even you are fixed on the tip of the nose and you will be pulled in. But not in the beginning. You have to be very, very, very light, not a burden, without any stress, without any strain. You have to be simply there, present, in a kind of let go. Neither that, while the eyes are looking at the tip of the nose, the thoughts should be concentrated on the yellow middle. So in other words, don't concentrate on the tip of the nose. The second trick the mind can play, the master is simply trying to make you alert of all the possibilities, of all the games that the mind is capable of. First it will say, okay, so the master says, concentrate on the tip of the nose. He's not saying concentrate on the tip of the nose. He's simply saying, look, just a very light, effortless look. The mind can say, okay, if you are just looking at the tip of the nose and then concentrate on the third eye. Mind is always in favor of concentration because mind feeds on concentration, lives on concentration. Hence, in your schools, colleges, universities, concentration is taught, not meditation, because they are all factories for creating the mind. They manufacture the mind. Whenever the eye looks, the heart is directed also. How can it be directed at the same time upward and downward? And then the mind can say, look, this is impossible. The demand is illogical. How can you look at two directions simultaneously, at the tip of the nose and at the third eye? It is not possible. Cannot be done. Don't be foolish. Now the third eye, the third game of the mind, of condemning something as illogical, first it creates a bogus idea, then it starts destroying it. And when it destroys, it has great joy, a very masochistic, sadistic joy. It says, look, this is what he means, absurdity. First look at the tip of the nose and then look at the third eye. How can you do both? Look upward and downward is impossible. All that means confusing the finger with one point to the moon with the moon itself. What then is really meant by this? The expression tip of the nose is clearly chosen, cleverly. The nose must serve the eyes as a guideline. We all, if you were to take this for yourself and you were to watch, focus on yourself every day, try it for a handful of days. Watch, pay attention to what you do when you get up in the morning, how you get out of bed, and how you operate throughout the day. No intervention, just view and watch. And you'll be amazed that you will find that you do everything almost like you're programmed to do it. You will do everything that you are programmed to do. And the reason that is because the thoughts that we carry don't leave us alone. And we don't just have tens of thousands. We have millions of them. And not only in this lifetime, but many lifetimes. So we carry these thoughts, and these thoughts direct us, and they condition us, and they program us. And it's almost like it seems like it's, how can you escape these thoughts? They control everything I do. And they do. You will find that. If you want to test that for yourself, Not, you're not looking for judgment or anything. You're just looking at the fact that you're saying, okay, criminy, I do the same thing, the same movements, the same facial expressions, everything. And we don't pay attention to that. But it's time that we start paying attention to how that works, how these thoughts condition us, control us, direct us, and how to end up mastering your thoughts, which is huge. We think that we exist before there was these bodies. We exist before there was creation. That's what the most of this journey, this endless journey, is about, is discovering your natural state way beyond meta of really what you are, who you are. And that's why this journey is put in front of us. We think perfection cannot evolve, because what we mean by perfection is that which has come to its last growth. And this definition of perfection is dead. God is perfect because God lacks nothing. God goes on growing from one perfection to another. The growth continues. God is evolution. Not moving from imperfection to perfection, but from perfection to more perfection, to still more perfection. And it is up to all of us to choose. How long will we be slaves to the mind and all these thoughts? This lifetime, 10 more lifetimes, 100 more, 1,000 more? Or when will we make the decision, the choice, through the heart-mind, that the mind will no longer master us, that these thoughts will no longer control us, that we will literally direct ourselves? It goes much deeper than just this physical world that we're all in. The physical world is just a small element, small part of it. But it is about us regaining our understanding that we literally are beyond all of it. This has nothing to do with ego, because the ego and the mind are illusions to keep us controlled and conditioned throughout these lives that we inhabit. And it is up to us to start becoming aware, not overnight, but slowly but surely start becoming aware of this. Everyone on this planet has this dilemma, but they're not consciously aware that they do. It isn't a bad thing. It's not a spooky thing. It's not a scary thing. It's not a negative thing. It's an awakening. It's an awareness. And it all starts with going within. And when you go within, it's not like you're rigid like some piece of metal where you don't bend and move and relax and ease. It is about just discovering, number one, what is it? What's inside your body? What's inside that body? I'm not talking about the organs. I'm not talking about the physical appearing structure of the body. What is it that powers the body? And when you know that, then what is it? What are you? What are all of we? What is it? And that's our questioning. And that's our own choice. We have a lot of choice. It's just we don't know it. And a lot of the times we make these choices, we just don't know who's making them for us. Is it you, or is it the thoughts? And the thoughts are the things that control everything on this planet. It's not really overcoming. It's actually becoming clear, awake, and aware. So then all of a sudden you start to realize that this external authority, this external world, this physical world, is but a mere distraction. It's a distraction. Think about that through the heart mind. Most of the people, most of the gods housed in these bodies, most of the people have no clue that that's what they are. They think they're the body. And you see why there seems so much craziness, misinterpretation, misunderstandings on this planet. So see, we are the God within the body. So we are divine perfection. So what we do as the one God, we are moving from imperfection to perfection, but from perfection to more perfection, and to still more perfection. So yes, we're divine perfection. And we don't change like everything else. But we do continue to go from perfection to more perfection, to more perfection, to more perfection. Being entertained down here on this planet with these frequencies in this external material world, we all know that it doesn't seem to fit right, so to speak. And so we get seduced into it, and then we participate in it. All along knowing, eventually you will know, that all along you have been the master, but you didn't ever know it. So the mind and the ego and all these thoughts, millions of them, come in and they tell us how to act and what to do and what to, basically everything. I can almost guarantee it, and you not trying to change it, okay, because it isn't a negative, but when you start viewing yourself, okay, and you're not judging, again, you're not judging, but you're viewing yourself to determine what's your process in that body. What does that body do? What are those thoughts telling you to do? You know, what side of the bed to get out of? You know, what your facial features are during the course of the day, you know, the morning, the day, and the night. You know? What are the time sequences? How do you operate? Most of us don't even do it. I don't know of many people that would. But this is all about discovering, really, really, what is it that makes the God within us? And what is the God within us? What's the source? Because once you discover what you are, then you'll discover what the source is. Then you can commune with the actual source. And then from there, as I've said, perfection to more perfection to still more perfection. And then from source, you then discover what is beyond source. And then you commune with that. If you believe that this planet is somehow a training ground for you, then you have been tricked. You're made up of pure, omnipotently powerful energy. You can go anywhere. You can inhabit anything. You can be anything, experience anything you desire. There's no set path. There never was. So it's always about you. It isn't about anything else. It's always about you. It is about your discovery. If you understand some of the prophets, Buddha, Maitreya, many of them, they didn't concentrate on the external world. They concentrated on the world within them. And by doing this, everything outside of you then unravels and you're able to see it exactly for what it is. Most of us spend our time trying to figure out life in this life, in this matrix. And 99.9% of the time, they never are able to, because they get so caught up in the turmoil of emotions and the ego and the mind and all the millions of thoughts coming in constantly from past lives, future lives, present lives. I mean, it is massive. Now, some of us will say, that's too scary, I'm not going there. Well, that's their decision. Then they will float in the material world and continue to reincarnate into it. But all about the dimensional frequencies is up to each and every one of us. Increasing those frequencies while we're in physical form changes everything. Because you know what it does? It brings the heaven to you, which is your soul, your God. And everything has been the opposite of what is the truth. All of us were taught to go out there, seek fame and fortune, success, wealth, happiness, everything. But it's out there. The God is in the heavens above you. You know, everything's watching you. You will be punished. If you sin, you will be punished. Well, so if you miss the target, you're going to be punished. You see how it's all been weaved? But basically, the thoughts are the masters, and the thoughts are what control us. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure that we all are. And what is the first thing? Relaxing our bodies. Now, you can generate a thought, your thought, that says, let's relax this body. You don't have to rely on a foreign thought to come in and tell you that. And you relax the body through the heart. Head to toe, inside and out. How do you literally relax your body? What have you done? What are the thoughts that have told you to relax, how to relax, when to relax, how long to relax, how to let go of things? You know, it's interesting because it's almost like a catch-22. So you generate your own thoughts through the heart-mind. The body is, let's relax. We're going to take all of these stresses, fears, anxieties, worries, ego arguments, mind arguments, and we're going to release them. The analogy of the hot air balloon with all the sandbags in the bottom of the basket, you're not going to be free until you dump all of that off to the ground. So you visualize that where you take your stress, your anxiety, your fear, your worry, your hurriedness, your envy, and dump it like those bags of sand. And each one that you dump, the balloon starts to go up. And the more you dump, the faster the balloon goes up. And eventually you're able to dump it all. The balloon has no limits because you've removed them, because you decided to do so through the heart-mind. So the body relaxes. That's pretty much how it is simple. But it's all about you. Whether you decide to or not. So as you've relaxed your body, you have relaxed your body, the God within you. And so as you relax your body, the body is literally disconnected from the mind and the ego. The body doesn't have a thought. Nothing's going on. It's just in total silence and peace. Floating. And we move this into the now. So as we move into the now, which is the space between heartbeats, which is moment to moment. In other words, whatever you're doing in this very moment is the only thing you're focused on. You are not focused on things 10 minutes from now, an hour from now, a year from now, 10 years from now. You're not focused on any of it. You're just in the now, in the moment. This is how you still the mind and the ego and the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is where our library is. It's where the tens of millions of thoughts have been stored. They come in. They're stored on the shelves. This was my 4,000th life. This is what I did. These are the thoughts that were generated in that life. Now, it's not exact as that, but it's pretty much, you'll get the gist of it. In the now is actually all we have. We don't have a past because the past is dead. It used to be now moments. Now it's dead. Inert. 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 60 years ago. Dead. Gone. It's useless. It has no bearing on anything. You've extracted what you learned from those periods. That's it. You have memories. You interact with those memories. And a lot of them are joyous. They're joyful memories, which is fun. We don't have a future because we're in the now creating the future. So a lot of us wander aimlessly into the future. It doesn't exist. And we're constantly asking ourselves, when is this going to happen for me? When am I going to have this? And when am I going to meet this person? When is this going to take place? And how is this going to be? And we do that. Oh, I wish, it was where people say they wish they were in a better place than they are right now, instead of being deeply grateful and in deep gratitude for exactly where they're at in the very moment. Okay? This is how the external world is seducing us every second, every microsecond. And is it that we want it to? No. It's just habit. We're so used to it. But in the now is the true power. Staying in the now. Focusing on the now. And all of that, millions of thoughts, mind chatter, ego chatter, are dismissed. They take a back seat. And it's not easy. It is not easy for people to stay in the now. I am not depicting it as easy. It is challenging, to say the least, because of the fact that when we say we're in the now, but how long can you stay in the now before you're pulled away in these thoughts? So it becomes a very intense practice where every time you leave the now because of thoughts, and you are consciously aware of that, then it is real simple to bring yourself in the now by focusing on your breath, your divine positive energy. And it is divine, and it is positive, because it sustains your body. How can it be negative when it sustains your body? And on top of it, because of that, it houses the soul, the God, the pure consciousness. So it's divine. The soul powers the body starts up, the lungs start functioning, the oxygen, the breath is created, so it sustains the body as well as the God. And on top of it, it keeps us in the now. So we practice. When you practice being in the now, you'll get challenges from the ego mind, the subconscious mind. You'll get challenges from everyone around you, because they'll want to know what you're going to do a week from now, what you're going to do tomorrow. What do you have planned for your day? Say, this is how the construct of this planet works. You're always being pushed. You're always being pulled. You're always being poked. You're always being prodded. It's constant. It never ends until you decide that you will no longer play in it, that you will master it, that you will master the ego mind, the subconscious mind, that you will use them as your allies rather than them using you as a slave. You really want to know how to get out of the matrix? That's the first step. And in the next several meditations, we will convene to learn how to leave the matrix. And maybe some don't care to do that because they're so frightened of the unknown, and unfortunately, the unknown holds all the possibilities. Those who are afraid of the unknown will stay in the circle jerk of this world and with low vibrational frequency. Every time one of us ascends to a level of self-generated vibrational frequency, we change our surroundings. We change everything around us. Every time. Every time you're able to sustain a blissful position, a happy, content, fully trusting of the universe position, you change the frequencies around you, within you, everywhere. And you affect others. Not in a negative way at all. So you look at the fact that you're in this meditation, in this guided meditation, where you're feeling through the heart, not the mind, not the ego. So you think through the heart. And the heart communicates with the mind. And then the mind carries out the directives of the heart, which then allows you to slowly but surely master the ego and mind and the subconscious mind. This is how you master them. Not saying that's easy. Not saying you can do it overnight. Just saying that it takes practice. And yet those guys say it's always up to you. It's all about you. When we understand what we are, without any arguments from the ego mind, okay, that we operate from the heart mind, and eventually you'll operate from the God that you are. Okay. And then, from there, you'll learn to operate beyond the God that you are. And then, from there, you'll learn how to operate beyond that. In the event that the majority of this population and the gods within the bodies were to become fully conscious and were to become fully aware of who and what they are, in a matter of minutes, all of the turmoil, not only on, in, above, and below this planet, but throughout this solar system and this quadrant of the galaxy, would end. That quickly. It would just cease. All of the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies would cease. That's how powerful you are. And this is not ego. This is not mind. This is the God. So we look at this planet. We have several parts of us that are awake and other parts that aren't. Since we're all connected and we're all one, We're talking the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. We're talking ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Sananda Christ, Amoria, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua, many, many, many more. Are they separate from us? Nope. Are they better than us? Nope. Are they more powerful than us? Nope. And the only reason that happens among the civilizations that are part of us is because of their egos are in control. That's it. However they call them, whatever they call their egos. That's why we have war and conflict. That's why we have interstellar galactic conflict that can last tens of millions and billions of years throughout existence. Because of the ego. Because of fear. And I can almost guarantee you that any of us who give ourselves the choice would not choose ego mind. We wouldn't even think about it. We would choose God mind, pure consciousness. That's what moves energy into form and creates it into reality. That's what manifests everything. You know, you're part of the universe. The universe is part of you. Does it make any sense why you shouldn't have everything you desire? No, doesn't make any sense, does it? And why so many go without on this planet? We have certain things with these bodies that we just don't understand. We have our pineal glands, which are highly suppressed. Why are they suppressed? Because the egos don't want those pineal glands to be fully functioning, vibrant, healthy, and fully operational. Right now they're suppressed, but they're operating. So once you understand that you are the God in that body, then you regenerate that pineal gland. You pour the energy that you are and saturate it, flood it, and soak it. And as you do this, it transforms immediately. Many have seen the golden lotus, the golden flower. You know, I see the rose, golden, blue, green, and it's massive. And the rose represents what? The God that you are. That can't be contested. It cannot be argued with the ego mind. The ego mind would argue that forever. The paradise on this planet is you, the God within that body. The heaven on earth is you, the God within that body. You have all the power that you could possibly even come close to imagining, but yet you're distracted in this physical world. Where should the attention of the gods be? On themselves? Not really, not yet. We must discover that we are the God within the body before we can do anything else. Once we discover we are the God within the body, that we have forgiven every aspect of ourselves, good, bad, indifferent, genuinely, that we are completely content and in bliss, knowing that we are the gods, then where does our attention direct to? All of the shenanigans happening on this planet. Period. And realize this, that the gods would intend it to all end. And guess what? Within minutes, across this planet, it would all end. All the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, all the debauchery, all the criminalities, everything would end. Literally. That's how powerful the gods are within these billions of bodies on this planet. Doesn't matter if you're drinking fouled water out of a ditch with only the clothes on your back. It doesn't matter if you're infested with parasites. That's the body. It is not the God. Once we understand this collectively, even though we are all one, we have been continuously trained that we are not. And that's what keeps our power collectively at bay. So see yourself, however you see yourself, as the God, the golden rose, the golden flower, the multicolored flower of the rose that I see the God with me. Whatever it may be, however you see it, there is one constant that cannot be refuted, and that is that what's inside these bodies is omnipotently powerful. It is of divine perfection, and it continually perfects itself. More divine perfection and more divine perfection. In all of us, on and off world, hundreds of millions, over 1 billion of us on and off world, in these meditations, continuously. And the intention of these meditations, with all of the visual, the golden ocean, the field of glitter, all of the things that we have created to assist us in our transition from body to God. Not God to body, but from body to God. This is the understanding and the gathering and the massive shift. And the only reason that happens is because of you. It's the only reason it happens. So I will join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close this out. Take an easy breath in through the nose. And an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. Man is not born to be a machine, but man lives like a machine and dies like a machine. Man has the seed of a great flowering of consciousness. Man has the possibility to become God. But that doesn't happen. It does not happen because man has been hypnotized by the society, by the state, by the organized church, by the vested interests. The society needs slaves, and man can remain a slave only if he is not allowed to grow into his uttermost flowering. The society needs your flesh and your skins, and naturally nobody likes it. Hence, the whole process of socialization, of civilization, is nothing but a deep hypnosis. Man is being hypnotized from the very moment he is born. He is being hypnotized. That the society exists in his favor, for his good. That is utterly wrong. He is being hypnotized that he is immortal. He is not. He can be, but he is not. And if the hypnosis persists, he will never be immortal. You live only as a mortal being because you live in the body. The body is going to die. That which is born is bound to die. Birth is the beginning of the body, and death is the end. Do you know anything more than the body in you? Have you experienced anything higher than the body, deeper than the body? Have you seen anything in you which was even before you were born? If you have seen that, then you are immortal. If you know your face, your original face, the face that you had before you were born, then you know you will be there after death too. Otherwise not. Man can be immortal, but man lives surrounded by death because man lives identified with the body. The society does not allow you to know more than the body. The society is interested only in your body. Your body can be put to use. Your soul is dangerous. A man of soul is always dangerous because a man of soul is a free man. He cannot be reduced to slavery. A man who has immortal soul in him has a deeper commitment to existence itself, to God himself. He does not care a bit about the man-made structures of society, civilization, and culture. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and into the following morning. And we will return here June 22nd, 2021, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call.